Well, hello there, Scorpio. Happy May to you. Sorry I'm getting these a little late. Life's been really hectic for me, and I needed to be in the right state to do these. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're not, I'm doing tarot by tribe just a little bit differently. There's actually 12 separate videos now. This is just working a little bit better for my own time constraints at the moment, and I hope that this is helpful for you. I have already shuffled and dealt, as you can see, backs up, and channeled quite a few messages thus far. So I'm going to go over those a little bit first, and then I'm going to flip them and talk to you a little bit about those energies there. So, first of all, the guides were super chatty for y'all. It seems like there's a lot going on with some people's relationships. I kept getting images of, like, things that I would typically associate to be, like, relationship-style images, like, overturned, like, reverse cards, and a lot of 5 started showing up, so we were talking about some changes, and in some cases I was literally seeing, like, the Hierophant, and they were saying there might be a Taurian connection somewhere. You might have Taurus somewhere strong in your own natal constitution, or be dealing with somebody that has strong Taurus energy. It's also possible that it just has to do with the 5th month, which we are in right now. So they're showing me a lot of that, but it was sort of in the relationship context, and I couldn't help but ignore that. When I'd finished dealing your cards, I just laid these down, and this is what was facing me. It was literally, in some cases, what I would consider to be a card that could symbolize a marriage and happy home, upside down, and there was just a really strong detached message that was coming through with this, and that's what was underneath it. And so I didn't know that until I just lifted this to show you. So the detached message was even stronger than I thought before I turned on the camera, because I hadn't touched that stack yet. I just laid them there, turned on the camera, and, you know, saw that there, and then the 10 was there as well. So yeah, we're hearing something about some changes in people's relationships, and they started playing a song for me that actually came up in one of the recent Down and Dirty dailies. I think it was last week. They had given me, Archangel Gabriel had given me a Mariah Carey song called Breakdown that she did with the guys from Bone Thugs and Harmony, and it came on again, and they were showing me, like, somebody getting out, and then, like, my Rider-Waite deck, like, pretty much exploded in my hands all at the same time, and I had to write these things down because I heard some things, and then I saw some cards, and there might be a strong correlation to some people's natal constitutions, but it was the Chariot, the Hierophant, and Hangman all popped out, and the Hierophant and the Chariot were both upside down. So Hierophant could be a Taurian person, Chariot could be a, you know, Cancerian person, Hangman could really be anybody. But when I saw those cards in that combination, I heard some of these guides say that you were like, well, who they were talking to was tired of hanging around and waiting for nothing. I heard, just tired of hanging around waiting for nothing. And then when I did that, I stuck those cards back in the deck, and I started shuffling my John Holland deck, and the Chariot card in that deck actually shot out. It was, it's called the Triumph card in that deck. And so 7s were big. So there's 2 7s there, 2 instances of the Cancerian, sometimes individuals card, if we're looking at the cards as a symbol of who it could be. And they were just saying that it's just like one of these situations right now where somebody literally feels like they're in limbo. And I think there's no, well, that's probably, that's funny too, because the Hangman's actually a 14, and 2 different 7s flew out. So 7 plus 7 is 14, which is about divine time. many times. And the hangman is somebody who sometimes is just like literally suspended in time or killing time, trying to get a new lens on what it is that they need to know to help them out of what sometimes is just an awkward situation. It's not always bad. It could just be one of those things that has you feeling like you're ready for something to change, and in some cases it has to do with the foundations. And so they're saying there's a lot of movement this month for people that have strong well, I heard Taurus again, Scorpio in their chart. You might be dealing with a Taurus, or you might have Taurus in your chart, but that came up. And then there were some messages that were coming up on trust that I was hearing about, and situations where people have left codependent style relationships, or just instances in their life. It doesn't have to be about people. Sometimes it can be about substances. And they were talking about the safe person is what I was hearing, the safe to love person. And then when I laid the cards down, this trust card actually wanted to show up. And it was actually the same card that they had showed me when I'd gotten that other message. So trust showed up twice. So they're saying for some of y'all, you just need to know that. They're saying that the situation is calling for you to have faith. And so, especially if you're feeling like you're at a situation right now where maybe it's like, whatever lies, and I say that kind of retracting my energy back, because I'm not calling you out. We all have things that we realize later we might have been holding on to in some way that we didn't know we had been, because of what had been put upon us, okay, by the foundations we grew up in, the training that life has really given us about how to respond to stimulus or to anticipate what might or might not be coming, okay? And so you're talking to me about the things that we've kind of conjured up in that sort of realm that we might be getting confronted with in situations where the triggers for emotional codependency are highly present and the trust is there. And it's just something that some of y'all's guides want you to keep in mind, that it's a situation to have faith in, especially if you feel like you're cutting out of something that might have had you tied up in some kind of way. Because they're saying there might be some agitation with the energy there, and maybe a tendency to kind of want to feel like a little explosive. And I'll just remind you, look, Mercury just stationed direct on the 3rd yesterday. Today's the 4th. So things might have been slow, and just because they seemed like they were slow, and things get delayed, and then you start going faster when communications are freer now that Mercury's like going direct again, and there's not this huge magnet between the Earth and the Sun and all our communications, and people acting like they're lead poisoned. So things can kind of seem like they're moving fast anyway. And they were just saying that in some cases, it's about having the ability to communicate the things that are going to help you feel safe in situations that might sometimes make you feel ungrounded, whether or not it has to do with romance or any kind of implications like that. I'm hearing a lot about people's families, and then in some cases this is not a romantic relationship. This is like defecting from the code, if you will, that was demonstrated to you as the way a family is or does, or whatever kind of foundational elements might be relevant to your world right now. This is a general reading, so it might affect people differently in different ways. So, only take what makes sense to you, but they're just saying right now, especially if those things are being challenged, like old dogmas, old foundations, old ways that we have just known to be the truths in our life up to this point, it might be a good time to look into what some people call safe word, or safe communication skills where you can actually articulate with words, even to yourself, where you are in the space now, because they're saying that's going to be very liberating for a lot of people, because they're just showing me Scorpio finding a whole new way to operate in a really big way, and that, working on the throat chakra here, and again, 5 came up a lot, so 5th chakra here could be very helpful at this time. So I think that's all I'm going to say there on that. I didn't really mean to get so far in depth with that. Yours was more depthy than others, but your guides were pretty adamant, and they gave me just tons of messages for y'all here. So if you need any more help or want to explore any of that further, hit me up. I'm doing personal readings at tarotbytribe.com/book me. All my information is linked below. I'm going to go ahead and flip this just a little bit here so you can take a look at the spirit board, and then we'll go through the cards one by one here, Scorpio. Oh, and that's my little buddy over there, in case you're wondering. But that's Jolie. She's taking a nap with Daddy. All right, so using the Carolyn Mace archetype cards for your challenge style energy here, Scorpio, we've got these storyteller cards showing up. These cards, I use them to demonstrate, we'll just call them situational awareness clues about how you or others might be tempted to express your energy, or how situations might be playing out. But they're saying that storyteller is really what's going to be thick in the weather for you. Light attribute state, the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Shadow attribute state, making up tales that harm others. So this right here, I'm being told, is like the end of those stories. In some cases, they're talking about like a big reveal, and I'm hearing it having to do with, those foundations that might be getting changed for some people, and maybe even feeling like some of the people in your life were teaching you things that felt like this, where it's like, the stuff they were telling you was stuff that wasn't really arming you for real life, is what I'm being told. Okay, let's go ahead and see what we got in the physical material realm. Using the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck, we've got a Knight of Pentacles showing up. This could very well be a character that's relevant in your life at this time. If that's the case, they might likely have a strong earth element in their constitution. If not, they're most likely persuaded to act somewhat like this. Knight of Pentacles could be any gender. And this person is definitely got a plan. And in some cases, they have not been prepared to move until they had a damn good reason to do it. And sometimes, people talk about the Knight of Pentacles just being like a slow-moving knight. Well, yeah. If you look at that horse, none of the legs are up. But this is somebody that's measuring, and they're calculating the steps. That might be like, a compass or something in their hand. They plan what they're doing, and they don't just jump to conclusions. So they're just saying that for some of y'all, this is actually you showing up in your own reading, like the Knight of Pentacles, whether or not you have any earth in your constitution, and that it's because of all of the difficult things that have gone into this cycle. They're showing me 5 again. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of this pentacle, but 5 has been coming up a lot. In some cases, it could have to do with a 5-year cycle for people. But they're saying in some cases, like if this is you and you find this to be, resonant in some cases. It's about the things that you learned in that period of time that have given you a healthy sense of your own ego, especially when you've been told, I'm being just kind of told, insisted upon by somebody that wanted to give you a lot of colorful depictions for who and what you actually are, and that it's taken a long time for you to get past whatever, those stories were that might have been hurtful, and that this here is you just prepared to make that start because you've actually gotten in touch with your light. And so you're giving a lot of focus here to solar plexus to me and saying that for some of y'all, that a really good clue this month is to make sure that what you're witnessing in yourself and how you're girding your own mind and consciousness is through a balanced, healthy ego. And in some cases, it was a shitstorm that led you there to try to figure out how to even be there balanced. And, well, isn't this incredible? So in the mental sector, we've got the 4 foundations and achievements cards showing up, aka your bum-ba-da-dum 4 of Wands card. Same card, different deck. Same energy as an archetype showing up. This is what was just facing me when I finished dealing, and it was right next to, again, the cutting away. And so in some cases, I'm hearing about people that have literally been planning for a while how to leave one foundational situation for one that was actually happy and better. And perhaps this was the reflective light of the old way here, the shadow character, storyteller, like bad marriage, bad foundations. And after this cutting away process, we've got the happy home, so it's kind of interesting, they're saying some of y'all are literally being cut out of, one old, very established way to be, whether it's a relationship or not, into another one. And it sounds like it's actually a blessed beginning. And they're saying in some cases, part of why this might have been so excruciating for some people is because of the kids involved. And, I'm hearing about trying to square up financial situations so that everybody is, planning for the future with a new start. And in other cases, I'm hearing about things that have kind of obstructed our view of ourselves in that limited ego way because of how we were treated as children. And so in some cases, they're saying that any of those things, whether it's your kids or how you were treated when you were a child, these things might be affecting your love life. This doesn't have to deal with somebody's love life, but this did show up in the personal/romance sector. So in some cases, they're definitely saying something's going on right now that's of concern with the children. And I'll also throw, fur babies in there. I'm over here being fur daddy here to mine. And, some people, that is their children. And in some cases, there might be situations going on in the home where that family member might be a topic on the mind. They're saying that this is a great time to do some energy healing work. And I'm hearing in some cases that the relationships that you've been calling in actually have been very strong energy work. They're showing me something right now. This is the advice card and the prayer card from Archangel Michael that we're actually going to seal it up on. I'm going to flip this back up here now. They're talking to me about excuse me, situations where the relationships that are being called in are actually helping to bring forward a playfulness, like a childlike playfulness, that is restoring the happy sense of self and home, and that it is actually a form of energy healing work. And for those of you who haven't started to do that, they're showing all this yellow light coming into somebody here, and they're showing this person here in the center of all this yellow light. They're saying this is a really good month to focus on your inner light, how you feel about you, and the view that you see of the life that you are worthy of, Scorpio, because they're saying that it's a great time to heal that, and that in some cases, and you're going to know if this is for you or not. I'm hearing a lot of it has to do with codependent attachment styles that some people have developed because of things that happened as a result of the way they were reared, if you will. And that what's happening now is actually a huge opportunity for those that have found that safe word, trusting kind of relationship. They keep telling me to hold this one up. And they're saying that something safe showed up after all that. And that for some of you, it's an opportunity to kind of restore some of what might have been lost in that childlike joy, because of the way that it is seeding a new beginning that's in your balanced light and in a foundation that you might actually want to keep. And they're saying that some of y'all actually authored that because of what you put into your life recently. And I'm hearing for some of y'all, it was a tough 5 years. And the only reason why you got through it was because of your kids. And so say hi, tend to you, sending you a hug. And kick ass, Scorpio. I think it's going to be a great month for you. Do what you need to do. Keep yourself balanced on that horse. I'm hearing some of y'all are on the wagon, off the wagon. I don't really know, like, the term. Is it on the wagon? Is it on the wagon? You know, when you're not spilling the drink and, you know, getting behind the wheel. The one that's, you know, upright. So congratulations for those of y'all, however that applies. And I'm going to go ahead and just seal this up on the practical advice and tip of the prayer from Archangel Michael about the energy healing work. And if you're looking for somebody that does do energetic healings, I am actually one of those people. I'm a practitioner of energetic healing arts. You can learn more about my services at artoflove.me. I'm going to link everything below, like I said. I'm going to pray for you right now, Scorpio. Dear Archangel Michael, thank you for sending healing energy to me and through me for my own blessings and for all those around me. Thank you for connecting me to loving and high integrity healers and teachers of energy healing modalities. Amen. All right, Scorpio, that's what I got for you. I hope it made sense that you liked it. And if so, really appreciate your thumbs up, share it with a friend, hit subscribe, and hit a brother up if there's something I can do for you. And if not, I'll catch you again in a couple of weeks when we're back for more readings. So take care. God bless. See you then.